Hey everyone, welcome to your workout. Like we do with almost every one of our workouts, we're going to begin with warm-up and we're going to kind of demo the moves that you're going to do during the actual workout, right? Demo the exercises that you're going to do. The first thing we're doing is a squat, and again, there's lots of creative ways. You'll see Maggie sitting down, lots of creative ways to do this. I'm kind of going up and down. The goal here is, again, just to kind of get a feel for the movement. You don't have to have weight yet. Absolutely doesn't have to look perfect. Here's where you're kind of ironing out the wrinkles, making sure that what you're doing is gonna work out for the day. Your second move is gonna be a push-up, and again, we're gonna remind you to try the same thing here. You'll see me stretching out those wrists. I realized after that first one, I thought, oh man, my wrists were tight. Maggie sometimes does a down dog rep. She goes down to her knees. Again, you do what works for you. You could be holding a plank. You could be doing plank to push-ups. The goal is just to begin to move well and to do a quick little check-in to make sure these feel right for you. And here's the deal, if it doesn't, you're going to get a little time right now. We almost always give you 30 seconds or so before we jump in. The beauty of what we're doing right here is that it's a video. If you need a little more time, pause it. If you're thinking to yourself, man, push-ups aren't working today, go ahead, pause the video, come up with an alternative. Go back to some of our other videos. We give you suggestions. The goal is, again, for you to move well and to be pretty happy about what you're going to do. Now, we're going to get rolling here in 3, 2, 1. Let's begin with those squats. We'll give you the roadmap for what's going to happen, but right now we want you to start squatting. And your goal here, your first intention, is to look good and feel good. Give yourself a little check-in with that body. Feet, knees, hips, shoulders. Again, just kind of be thinking about how you're moving here. Okay, let's talk about what's coming up your way. First exercise is a squat. We're going to do that for 45 seconds. You're going to have 15 seconds after that to switch to your second move, which we warmed up with, is a push-up. You'll then do push-ups for 45 seconds, have a 15-second break, and then we'll return to squats. We are going to do that superset, right? Squat plus push-up. We're going to do that 4 times. You're going to be moving here for a grand total of 8 minutes on that stopwatch time in that upper left corner of your screen. And time. Just so you know what's coming. 8 minutes here. You're already 1 minute down. Great job on that first round of deadlifts. Let's everyone get ready for your push-ups or your push option. 3, 2, 1, begin. Just like those squats, your intention here is to look good and to feel good. You know that you're doing that, or you get an idea that you're doing that by, again, doing that little body check-in. You're paying attention to how your hands feel on the floor. You're paying attention to how your wrists feel as you're going down. Your elbows, your shoulders. Check in with all of that, all the parts of your upper body. Once you're done with that, move down your body. Go into your core. Is your tummy tight? How do your glutes feel, your butt muscles? Can your legs handle what you're doing? Are your toes spread on the floor? Do you feel good about what you're doing? If the answer is no, we want you to take time, take a breath, change it up. It's okay to pause that video. It's okay to do something different. 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent work on that first round. You're 2 minutes down. You're a quarter of the way there. Give yourself a little pat on the back. That's a great start. Let's go ahead and get ready to dial it up again as we begin our second round of squats. 3, 2, 1, squats. Now our intention here is to make it look a little bit better. You had round 1 to get a feel for it, to iron out the wrinkles. Maybe you even decided that your weight was too heavy. Maybe it was not heavy enough. You're gonna adjust and do what you need to do. And again, if you need to pause that video to do that, we want you to do that. We want you to have a great workout, not just an 8 minutes straight workout, right? We always want you to be able to choose and do whatever you need to do to make this workout what you need it to be. You've got about 15 more seconds here. Your goal, make these squats a little bit better than they were last round. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nicely done. Let's set that weight down. Let's transition and get ready for your pushing exercise. Again, you've got some options here. If you don't like that push-up, you can do a floor press, you can do an overhead press. Use what you have at your disposal. Make it look and feel good. 2, 1, push-ups. Now again, you're going to see me doing a little variation here. Both Maggie and I are doing what's called plank to push-ups. I love this one. I think it's really challenging. My goal with this to make it a little bit better, I always think about not rotating here. Anytime I'm in a plank position, I'm always thinking, oh, I'm trying to be as still as I can. Your hips naturally want to twist or shift out left and right, and it's okay if they do, but minimizing that, oh, that gets your core on. That shows me that you can be tight, that you can be in control. It's just one way to do it, right? Sometimes coming up a little taller, going a little faster, going a little slower. Those are different ways to make it better too. We want you to experiment. 3, 2, 1. Nicely done. Guess what, everybody? You're halfway through this superset. We've got more for you after that 8 minutes. This is going to be a good workout. All right now you're halfway through. You've got another round of squats. Let's begin again in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Now again, you're going to see me doing variations on this. I love having a variety of tools. I've got my body weight for one. I've got a kettlebell or a dumbbell. I've got bands. You'll see Maggie get a backpack filled with weights. Kind of fun sometimes to have some variety, to change it up, keeps things fresh. It's also okay to do the exact same thing every single time because you're going to get better at it. It's just skill practice, right? Every time you do a squat, you reinforce what it's like to keep doing that squat. And squats are such awesome movements. Oh, I love that you guys do these. Keep it going. You're almost there. 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent work. Transition out of that. Get ready for your push round 3. 10 seconds. Breathe. Get yourself a water. Shake it out. Do what you need to do. We're going to go again in 3, 2, 1, and go. Now, our intention for round 3 is for you to make this start to feel like a workout. It might already be feeling like a workout, right? You might be saying, oh my gosh, what's this guy saying? Absolutely, I'm working out here. Awesome. If that's the case, you're doing great. If for whatever reason you feel like $1,000,000 a day and it's just not that hard, we ask you to make it a little harder, right? We're always looking for that sweet spot. We call that our Goldilocks zone. We make it just right. We think exercise is really simple to kind of rate it in one of 3 ways. It can feel easy, it can feel medium, or it can feel challenging. If you need an easy workout today, you make it easy. Otherwise, you're going to get more bang for your buck if it falls somewhere between medium and challenging. 3, 2, 1. Give yourselves a break. That's 3 rounds down. You've got one more superset, one more couplet here, right? Squats and push-ups one more time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Squats. Now, I'm going to point out something that Maggie and I are doing. Wall sits. If for whatever reason squats bug your hips or your back, we've heard from some people who are saying, man, squats just don't work for me. Sometimes wall sits can work really, really well. So don't be afraid to experiment and try what you see us doing here. The reminder is that we love giving you examples, we love giving you options, but you never have to do exactly what you see us do. You also don't have to look exactly like we look. Again, we get that you're built a little differently. From us, from each other, right? You're unique. We want you to move in the way that you're built to move. Some people do wall sits, some people do squats. You do what works for you. 4, 3, 2, 1. That was your 4th and final round of squats. Give yourself a little air high five. You're nailing it. All right, get ready for that last round of push-ups or your push position, right? Your pushing exercise. 3, 2, 1. Let's begin. Now, last round I was talking about intensity, making sure that it feels like exercise. We want you to do the same thing. This is your 4th and final round. We want you to finish well. One thing I do want to point out is that you'll see me doing a band press or an overhead press. I could be doing this with a kettlebell or a dumbbell just as well, right? But I'm doing this on one side. And again, some people are thinking, hey, when you do push-ups, you're using both arms. Is it cheating to use one arm at a time? And I'm going to say absolutely not. A push is a push, whether I'm doing it with one arm or both arms. I like making sure that I can get both arms in. I like to stay a little balanced. So again, if you're going to do something like this, I would just encourage you to make sure you can get one side done on the right and then one side done on the left. Make sense? Cool. 3, 2, 1. You're done with that superset. You're done with that cycle. That was 8 minutes. We hope it felt just right for you on that intensity. If not, remember, you can always try again, right? We do these exercises more than once. All right, let's talk about what's in between here. You've got a little active recovery. Maggie and I love using the down dog reps to do that. Again, if you've done these before, you know what to do. You go ahead and get into them. If this is your first time, your goal is to get on those hands or on your forearms. Again, we know you just did push-ups. It can be a little tough on those wrists. If you need to get down like Maggie is in child's pose and do a little stretch on that back, maybe do some rotations, you can do that. Also, if you have a different stretch, something that works for you, oh, please do that. Sometimes people recover just by standing up and kind of gently shaking their arms and legs around and kind of walking around. That's active recovery too. The goal is for you to be recovered, for you to be ready for what's coming up next. We like staying active because it helps you stay ready instead of just staying still there. So again, you do what works for you. In about 10 more seconds, we're going to prepare and get ready for our next series. So take a couple of deep breaths. You did great making it through that first series. 3, 2, 1. All right, if you'd like to join us, go ahead and stand up. And we're going to introduce your next 2 movements. It's going to be a lot like that first round, just made with different exercises. Exercise number 1 is going to be a deadlift. This is really similar to a squat. You're still reaching down towards the ground, right? It's like you're picking something up off the ground. Here, you're just bending your hips more than you're bending your knees. Everyone does deadlifts a little differently. So it's okay if yours don't look like ours. We want you to warm up. We want you to feel good. We want you to check in. Exercise number 2 is going to be a row. And again, Maggie and I oftentimes choose to not hold anything during our warm-up position. It's always okay if you'd like to start and hold a weight. Some people feel really funny if they're warming up without anything in their arms, right? It's pretty light. I always like this because I know you don't need weight. You can get some warm-up just from the neuromuscular connection, right? Just from moving your arms in the way that they're going to move with weight, you still get warmed. You get prepped for the movement. All right, you know your 2 moves. We're gonna take the next 15 to 30 seconds here to just breathe. And again, I'll remind you, pause the video if you need more time. If you need to go prep, if you need to get different equipment, do that. Take a breath. We're going to get ready to go in just a moment. Hope you're feeling good. We've got 8 more minutes minimum here. All ready? 3, 2, 1. Let's begin those deadlifts. Like I said, very similar style. You're going to go 45 seconds in a deadlift. You're going to have 15 seconds between that and your next movement, right? Once you had that transition time, then you're going to row. You're going to do that for 45 seconds. And then you're going to breathe for 15 seconds. And we're going to do that a total of 4 times. It's going to take you 8 more minutes, and then we'll wrap it up. All in all, it's a 20-minute plus workout if you count your warm-ups, which we totally count, by the way. We love our warm-ups. All right, now remember, you're halfway through the workout, right? You're well over 10, 11 minutes in. You're still using this as a first round. You're still checking in with how you feel. Where are your feet on the ground? How do your knees and hips feel? Are you able to stand up tall and proud? Whole body check-in while you're moving, and the same goes for when we do our row. Stop, by the way, right? I know some of you don't watch the screen. Apologize for that. We're getting ready to go in 3, 2, 1. Let's get ready for that row. Remember, you've got lots of different postures. You're going to see me do versions of this where I'm standing, I'm sitting, I'm leaning over. Again, the goal, like all of our exercises, we show you different ways to do this, but you pick the ones that feel best for you. If you love the variety and changing it up every time, I promise you it totally works. If you love consistency and doing the same thing every time, I promise you that totally works. So many good ways to do this. As long as you're moving in a way that feels good for you and stack on some other things that we'll talk about later, it's gonna work. You're gonna get strong, you're gonna get lean, you're gonna get fit. You're gonna move well, you're gonna be able to do what you want to do. 3, 2, 1, nice job. First round done. You remember what's coming up next? That's right, we've got a deadlift, and we're gonna see if we can get that form a little bit better. No matter how good your form was, we're gonna aim for a little bit better. You ready? 2, 1, let's try it again. Deadlift. Up and down. When you stand up tall. Stand up proud. I always like to think when I'm standing up, I'm trying to touch my head to the ceiling. That's how tall I'm getting. When I'm leaning down, I'm really trying to push my rear backwards. I know I say it sounds kind of funny, but I'm trying to touch whatever wall is behind me. And I usually stand far enough away that I don't touch a wall, but the idea is the same, right? The cue is the same. You're reaching backwards. Should your back be straight? Should it be bent? That's kind of up to you and how you feel. I like a straight back. Some people get a little more comfortable if their back can curve a bit. Again, check in with your body and see what it feels like. Don't be afraid to test and experiment. 3, 2, 1. Take a little break. All right, we're going to get ready for that second round of a row. Take a breath here. Get yourself set. Change your posture. Change your position if you need to. 3, 2, 1, begin. Now, just a point of preference, right? Our aim here is to make our form a little bit better. These rows look good. We want them to look better, so you do what you need to do that. Whether you're standing up or sitting down, right? You see Maggie and I doing variations here. You're pulling your elbows behind you. And again, I like to cue. Since I'm sitting down, since I'm upright, I think my elbows are going to the wall behind me, a lot like that deadlift. Since Maggie's standing up, she's pulling her elbows towards the wall, sure, maybe towards the ceiling a little bit. But that's all you really have to think about here. Elbows back, form you're proud of. You're tight where you need to be tight. You're loose so that you can keep doing this, right? It's a balance of tension and relaxation. 3, 2, 1. Nicely done. You've got 2 rounds down. You're halfway through this series. You're 3/4 through the workout. The end is in sight. Hang with us. Deadlift again in 3, 2, 1. Now, a quick point. You're going to see me doing a slightly different version of these deadlifts. These are called staggered stance because my stance is staggered. I've got one foot in front of the other. I like this one. It gets me doing a little bit more balance. I feel it in one leg more than in the other side. And again, it's just a slightly different way to move. I encourage you always to kind of think like a scientist here. You're testing, you're seeing how you feel. Pay attention to what you're doing and don't be afraid to experiment a little bit. We love that. As long as, you're looking good and feeling good, as long as you can keep your form dialed up, looking better than it has been, we think you're making progress. 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice job with that deadlift. Go ahead and take a break. Pause there. Get ready for your row. You ready for it? Here it comes. 3, 2, 1. Whichever row position makes sense for you. And let's talk about our intention now that we're in round 3. Should feel like a workout. Just like we talked about with those squats and those push-ups. You've worked through your cycles. You worked through your intentions. You know your form is looking good and feeling good. If that's true, you've dialed it up a little bit, right? If you feel like your form is now almost in that great spot, if you're feeling tight, if you're feeling controlled, if you feel like you can add a little bit more, you're changing that intention to make it feel moderate to challenging, if that's your space today. Again, if you're new to this or if you are fatigued and tired and you're just wanting to go through the motions, it's okay to have an easy workout. It's okay to choose weights that keep it on the easier side. We think you get a little more out of it if you're somewhere in that moderate to challenging range. So again, play around with ways to do that. 3, 2, 1. Row is done. You've got 3 rounds down. You've got 1 more round. 2 more minutes before we enter into our last stretch. Are you ready? Can you do it? I love the confidence. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Last time deadlift. If you're experimenting with that staggered stance, consider switching legs, right? Like I did. Play around with it a little bit. If you're sticking with your tried and true deadlift, stick with it. You've got 1 more round. Now our intention for round 4 almost always is to finish well. Keep stacking what you've done, right? You never forget that body check-in. You never forget to make yourself look and feel good. But you're not thinking about 4 things in a row. You're just cycling through it, right? Do I look good? Is my core tight? Am I controlled? Does this feel like a workout, right? You answer yes or no to each of those and you adjust. Am I finishing well? If the answer is that to yes, you just keep rocking through it. Keep doing what you do so well. 4, 3, 2, 1. Done with that last round of deadlifts. Woo-hoo. Take a breath. You've got 45 more seconds of work. You've got this. 3, 2, 1. Let's row. Last time. Intention is the same. Do a body check-in. Are you where you want to be? Do you look good? Do you feel good? Can you dial that form up? Do you get a little bit better each rep? Are you tight where you need to be tight? Can you relax when you need to relax? All of that's part of looking good and feeling good. Does it feel like a workout? Is it easy? Do you need it to be easy? Is it moderate or challenging? Can you handle it? Keep breathing here. And then that last question is, are you finishing well? Are you proud of what you did? If the answer is yes, you rocked it. You got strong. You got lean. You got tight. 3, 2, 1, and done. Very strong finish. Oh, take a breath. If you need to, pause the video, get a sip of water. The last thing we're going to do is our active recovery. Same thing that we did the first time. So again, I'll give you the nod here to, again, change it up if you want to. I could do down dog reps all day long, right? It's my go-to active recovery. I love this one. If you've got something else you're focusing on, either from one of our flexibility videos or from homework that you've gotten from somewhere else, go ahead and do that. Anything that sounds like active recovery, anything that is corrective in nature, if you're working with somebody else and they've given you a corrective exercise, this would be a great spot for it. And let's talk about what's coming up next. If this is your first video, you chose a doozy of a one to join us on. They don't always last this long or go this hard, so we love that you gave it a shot. If this is not your first video, rock on, you nailed it, and let's talk about what's coming up again in the future. Some of you do programming with us. If your calendar says that there's a workout after this, now is the time for you to go ahead and start thinking about that, right? Wrap this one up. If you don't know what we're talking about, if you don't have a calendar and if this is your only workout, you nailed it. Finish up well. You do what you need to do. We love that you joined us. Thank you again for such a great workout. We are happy to be bringing these to you. I'm going to let Maggie wrap us up. Thanks again.
Well, hey everyone, Maggie here. We would love for you to subscribe to this channel. We have a lot more workout videos with different focuses and different lengths of time that we would love for you to check out. And if you subscribe, you'll kind of always be in the loop on what we're coming up with. Thanks again for joining us, gang. Make it a great day.